Respect is the foundation of every interaction we have, whether it is personal, professional, or even casual. When someone fails to respect you, it is not just an isolated incident. It sends a signal that your time, opinions, and presence may not matter to them. The first step to handling such individuals is awareness. You must identify the behaviors that signify disrespect, because without clarity, you risk reacting impulsively or tolerating patterns that slowly erode your confidence. These behaviors can appear in many forms: interruptions, dismissive remarks, minimizing your contributions, or disregarding your time and boundaries. Recognizing these signs is critical because it transforms your mindset from one of confusion and frustration to one of deliberate strategy. Disrespectful people often test boundaries intentionally, and their actions are designed to see how much you will tolerate. Awareness does not mean obsessing over why they behave this way, but rather understanding the patterns in their conduct so you can choose a measured response. It allows you to reclaim control over your emotional and mental energy instead of giving it away to chaos. When you identify disrespect clearly, you can plan your response thoughtfully rather than reacting on impulse or emotion. This awareness alone begins to shift the balance of power back to you. You start seeing these moments as opportunities to practice calm assertiveness, to strengthen your personal boundaries, and to cultivate the respect that aligns with your values. Being alert to these behaviors is not about paranoia, it is about protecting your peace and self-worth. Once you recognize disrespect, you gain the power to respond rather than suffer silently. Awareness equips you to distinguish between occasional mistakes and consistent patterns. Some people may act thoughtlessly once or twice, but when behavior becomes repetitive, it signals a deeper issue. This discernment allows you to respond selectively and strategically, conserving your energy for interactions that truly matter. Recognizing disrespect also helps you avoid internalizing other people's negativity. When someone interrupts, dismisses, or talks over you, it is easy to question your own worth. Awareness teaches you that their behavior reflects their mindset, not your value. This perspective empowers you to stay grounded and maintain confidence. Furthermore, awareness opens the door for proactive measures, such as setting boundaries, asserting your expectations, or even disengaging when necessary. It is a mental shield that strengthens your composure, allowing you to navigate difficult interactions with calm authority. By acknowledging disrespect clearly, you signal to yourself and to others that your presence and voice are not negotiable. It lays the groundwork for meaningful action, transforming potentially frustrating encounters into opportunities for personal growth and demonstration of self-respect. Setting boundaries is one of the most powerful tools you have when dealing with people who do not respect you. Boundaries are not about being aggressive or creating conflict. They are a declaration of your value and a signal to others about what you will and will not tolerate. When someone repeatedly interrupts you, dismisses your ideas, or treats your time as if it has no worth, they are testing your limits. By defining clear boundaries, you send a message that your presence, your opinions, and your energy are not negotiable. Boundaries give you a framework for interactions, a way to assert yourself without reacting impulsively or emotionally. They can be communicated verbally through statements that set expectations, or non-verbally through confident body language and deliberate choices in how you engage. The key is consistency. A boundary has no power if it is ignored or enforced inconsistently. Each time you uphold your limits, you reinforce your self-respect and demand that others adjust their behavior to match your standards. Boundaries do not alienate people. They clarify how relationships must operate to remain healthy. They create a safe space where your dignity is preserved and where interactions can occur on mutually respectful terms. Establishing boundaries begins with self-awareness. You must first know what behaviors you are unwilling to tolerate and which values you hold sacred. Once you understand these limits, you can communicate them confidently and calmly, without anger or justification. Clear communication removes ambiguity and prevents others from claiming they did not understand your expectations. For example, If a colleague consistently interrupts you in meetings, a simple but firm statement like, "I would like to finish my point before hearing your response," asserts your boundary without hostility. By enforcing these limits consistently, you train others to respect your time and input. Boundaries are also about prioritizing your own well-being. They help prevent burnout, frustration, and resentment by making clear where your responsibilities and energy begin and end. When you respect yourself enough to set limits, you cultivate respect from others almost automatically. People naturally mirror the behavior and standards you project, and boundaries are a tangible demonstration that you value yourself and your contributions. They create a framework where interactions are structured around mutual acknowledgement rather than unchecked disregard. Boundaries are not static. They evolve as relationships and circumstances change. Effective boundary setting requires ongoing reflection and adjustment. Each time you encounter disrespect, you have an opportunity to refine your limits, strengthen your communication, and reinforce the expectations you have set. Boundaries also help you evaluate relationships and interactions. Some individuals may consistently push against your limits, signaling that they are unwilling to respect your value. In these cases, boundaries guide your decision-making about how much energy, attention, or engagement is worth investing. They provide clarity and a measure of control in situations that could otherwise feel chaotic or demoralizing. Ultimately, boundaries empower you to operate from a place of strength rather than reaction. They allow you to maintain dignity, assert control, and cultivate environments where respect is the standard, not the exception. By consciously and consistently setting limits, you create the conditions for healthier, more respectful interactions and safeguard your personal and professional growth. Maintaining emotional control is one of the most crucial skills when dealing with people who do not respect you. When someone interrupts, belittles, or dismisses you, the natural reaction is often anger, frustration, or defensiveness. Reacting impulsively, however, gives that person power over your emotions and the situation. Emotional control does not mean suppressing feelings or pretending to be unaffected. It means responding intentionally rather than reacting instinctively. By mastering your emotions, you create space between stimulus and response, allowing you to choose the most effective course of action. This skill shifts the dynamic from one where the disrespectful person dictates the tone of interaction to one where you remain calm, composed, and strategically in control. Emotional control is a visible signal of strength and confidence. It communicates to others that you are grounded and not easily manipulated. In moments where respect is tested, those who maintain their composure often emerge with authority, credibility, and influence, while those who react emotionally can unintentionally escalate conflict or diminish their own presence. Achieving emotional control begins with awareness of your triggers. Understanding which behaviors provoke you allows you to anticipate your reactions and prepare responses in advance. Techniques such as deep breathing, pausing before speaking, and mentally reframing the situation can prevent you from responding impulsively. For example, if a colleague interrupts you repeatedly during a discussion, instead of snapping or showing irritation, you can take a breath, maintain calm body language, and assertively redirect the conversation back to your point. This approach ensures that your response is measured and effective rather than reactive. Emotional control also provides clarity in decision-making. When emotions are high, it is easy to act rashly or misinterpret intentions, which can worsen the situation. By regulating your emotional state, you remain clear-headed, assess the behavior objectively, and choose responses that protect your dignity while addressing the issue strategically. Maintaining control transforms potentially draining interactions into opportunities for demonstrating strength and resilience. Emotional control also reinforces long-term respect from others. People who repeatedly encounter calm, measured responses to their disrespectful behavior learn that they cannot provoke an overreaction or manipulate the situation. Over time, this consistency establishes boundaries without verbal confrontation, because your composure alone communicates the limits of acceptable behavior. Emotional control does not imply passivity. It is a deliberate, active choice to engage with authority and intentionality. It enables you to confront issues, set boundaries, or disengage when necessary, all while preserving your credibility and peace of mind. Furthermore, emotional mastery extends beyond individual interactions. It strengthens your overall confidence and self-esteem. By choosing how to respond instead of reacting impulsively, you maintain a sense of agency in every situation. The more consistently you practice emotional control, the more natural it becomes, and the more effectively you command respect, turning every encounter into an opportunity to reinforce your value and assert your presence with unwavering confidence. Assertive communication is one of the most effective ways to handle people who do not respect you. Many individuals confuse assertiveness with aggression, but they are very different. Assertiveness is about expressing your thoughts, feelings, and expectations clearly and confidently without undermining or attacking others. When you communicate assertively, you take control of interactions by setting the tone and clarifying boundaries while still remaining respectful and professional. People who fail to respect others often rely on ambiguity, manipulation, or intimidation to get their way. By being assertive, you remove uncertainty from the interaction and make it clear that your voice, time, and opinions matter. Assertive communication requires a balance of confidence and calmness. It is not about winning an argument or dominating the conversation. It is about establishing equality and mutual respect. The way you express yourself, tone, body language, and word choice reinforces your stance and ensures that your message is received without confusion or defensiveness. Assertiveness begins with clarity about your expectations. You must know what you need from the interaction and what behaviors are unacceptable. Once you are clear, you can express yourself in a direct, concise manner. For example, if someone interrupts you during a meeting, an assertive response might be, "I would like to finish my point before you respond." This communicates your boundary clearly, without anger or condescension, and sets a precedent for future interactions. Assertive communication also involves active listening. When you listen to the other person while maintaining your position, you demonstrate respect and awareness, which makes it harder for them to dismiss you. Confident body language, such as upright posture, steady eye contact, and calm gestures, reinforces your words, making your communication more authoritative. The combination of clear expression, active listening, and confident presence ensures that your interactions are productive and that your position is respected. Assertive communication also protects your emotional well-being. When you fail to express your needs or allow disrespectful behavior to go unchallenged, frustration and resentment can build over time. Speaking up assertively prevents negative emotions from accumulating and reduces the risk of explosive reactions later. It also signals to others that you are aware of your value and will not tolerate mistreatment. Over time, consistent assertiveness cultivates a reputation of competence and confidence. People learn that you communicate with purpose and that attempts to disregard or diminish you are ineffective. Importantly, assertiveness empowers you to maintain control in challenging situations. It is not about controlling others, it is about controlling your engagement, your response, and the standard for interaction. By mastering assertive communication, you transform potentially stressful encounters into opportunities to reinforce your authority, protect your peace, and ensure that your presence is acknowledged and respected consistently. Choosing your battles wisely is a strategic approach to dealing with people who do not respect you. Not every act of rudeness, dismissal, or provocation requires a direct response. Reacting to every slight can drain your energy, create unnecessary conflict, and distract you from your priorities. Understanding which situations merit engagement is essential to preserving your mental and emotional resources. Some disrespectful behaviors are minor or occasional, and addressing them may not yield meaningful change. Other behaviors, especially patterns of repeated mistreatment, demand attention. By carefully evaluating each situation, you can decide when it is worth asserting yourself and when it is more strategic to step back or disengage. Choosing your battles does not mean tolerating abuse. It means applying discernment so that your actions have impact and your energy is invested in outcomes that matter rather than reacting to every provocation. This mindset ensures that you maintain control and act from a position of strength. Selecting battles wisely requires awareness and reflection. You must assess both the behavior and the context to determine the best course of action. Consider the long-term effects of engaging in conflict. Will addressing this issue improve your situation, establish respect, or protect your boundaries? Or will it escalate tension without meaningful resolution? By reflecting in this way, you prevent impulsive reactions that may compromise your credibility or distract from more important goals. For example, if a colleague dismisses your idea once during a large meeting, it may be more effective to address it later in a private, calm conversation rather than publicly reacting in anger. Choosing the right time, place, and manner to respond ensures that your interventions are deliberate and constructive. This strategic approach helps maintain your authority, protects your emotional well-being, and demonstrates to others that you engage thoughtfully rather than reactively. Choosing battles also communicates a subtle but powerful message. You value your time, energy, and presence. When people see that you respond only when necessary, they understand that your engagement is deliberate and that disrespect will have consequences if repeated. This approach reinforces your boundaries and cultivates respect without unnecessary confrontation. It also allows you to preserve energy for meaningful interactions and personal growth. Over time, consistently evaluating which situations require action and which do not strengthens your judgment and self-confidence. You become more resilient to provocations, less reactive to minor slights, and better able to prioritize relationships and interactions that contribute positively to your life. Strategic engagement transforms potentially draining encounters into opportunities for demonstrating discernment, composure, and authority, ensuring that your presence commands respect in a thoughtful and deliberate manner. Surrounding yourself with supportive individuals is a critical strategy when handling people who do not respect you. The people around you influence not only how you feel, but also how you respond to challenging situations. If your environment is filled with negativity, criticism, or dismissive behavior, it becomes harder to maintain clarity, confidence, and composure. Supportive individuals, on the other hand, provide validation, encouragement, and perspective. They help you recognize your value, reinforce your boundaries, and offer advice on navigating difficult interactions. Being surrounded by people who respect you sets a standard for how others should behave and creates a buffer against those who attempt to undermine your confidence. This network of support is not a crutch. It is a source of strength that allows you to approach situations strategically without allowing disrespectful behavior to erode your mental or emotional well-being. In essence, the quality of your relationships directly affects your ability to maintain authority and composure in the face of challenges. Supportive individuals also serve as mirrors, reflecting your strengths and providing constructive feedback when needed. When you face disrespect, it can be easy to internalize it and doubt your worth. Trusted allies help you see the situation objectively, separating the other person's behavior from your self-value. They remind you that disrespect is a reflection of the other person's mindset, not a measure of your competence or character. This external perspective empowers you to act decisively, whether that means asserting boundaries, calmly addressing the behavior, or choosing to disengage. Additionally, supportive individuals can model effective ways of responding to difficult people, giving you examples of communication, emotional control, and strategic decision-making that you can apply in your own life. Their presence creates a sense of security, reducing anxiety and self-doubt and enabling you to handle disrespect without overreacting or compromising your integrity. A strong support network also helps you prioritize your energy and focus on meaningful interactions. When you are surrounded by people who lift you up, you are less likely to be consumed by negative encounters or distracted by those who seek to diminish you. This environment reinforces a mindset where respect is expected and tolerated behaviors are clearly defined. Over time, your circle of supportive individuals can influence the culture around you, encouraging others to engage with you in respectful, constructive ways. Importantly, cultivating these relationships requires effort and discernment. You must choose to invest in people who align with your values, uplift your spirit, and provide honest, actionable support. By doing so, you create a foundation of trust, encouragement, and empowerment that strengthens your resilience, amplifies your confidence, and ensures that you are never isolated in navigating disrespect. Supportive individuals magnify your ability to maintain authority, protect your peace, and reinforce the standards of respect you expect in every interaction. Self-respect is the cornerstone of commanding respect from others. When you value yourself, honor your commitments, and prioritize your well-being, you naturally project confidence and authority. People who fail to respect others often detect insecurity or uncertainty and exploit it. By cultivating self-respect, you create a foundation that makes it difficult for anyone to diminish your value. Self-respect is more than just confidence. It is an ongoing practice of recognizing your worth, protecting your dignity, and refusing to tolerate behavior that undermines you. It involves acknowledging your strengths and accomplishments, setting high personal standards, and consistently aligning your actions with your values. When you demonstrate unwavering self-respect, you communicate silently yet powerfully that your presence, opinions, and contributions are meaningful and non-negotiable, making it clear to others that disrespect will not be tolerated. Practicing self-respect requires a conscious focus on your personal and professional growth. It includes taking care of your physical, mental, and emotional health, and ensuring that your environment supports your well-being rather than draining it. It also involves reflection and accountability, evaluating your responses to challenging situations and learning from them to improve future interactions. When you act from a place of self-respect, you do not react impulsively to disrespect, but rather respond strategically, maintaining composure and dignity. Self-respect strengthens your ability to set and enforce boundaries, communicate assertively, and choose when to engage or disengage in difficult interactions. It empowers you to maintain control over your environment and relationships, ensuring that you are surrounded by people who treat you with the same consideration and regard that you show yourself. Self-respect also influences how you handle criticism and confrontation. Individuals with a strong sense of self-respect are less likely to internalize negative behavior or let it shake their confidence. Instead, they evaluate feedback and behavior objectively, separating constructive criticism from unnecessary disrespect. This clarity enables deliberate, thoughtful responses, whether it means addressing the behavior directly, reinforcing boundaries, or removing yourself from toxic interactions. Over time, consistent self-respect creates a reputation of reliability, integrity, and confidence. People recognize that your presence demands acknowledgement and that attempts to undermine you are ineffective. It becomes clear that respect is not given arbitrarily but earned through consistent self-awareness and principled behavior. By prioritizing self-respect, you establish an internal compass that guides your decisions, strengthens your interactions, and ensures that your voice is heard and valued in every setting.